So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another mental model that can be useful for you, since mental models are representations about how the reality works. And as more you grasp them, higher is the probability of you getting what you want, that is, improving your decision making, because we believe that decision making is what brings to you most of the prosperity that you got in your life. Because what? Because you, to get prosperity, you need to do actions, and actions that you do, if they're successful ones, if they're the correct ones, they depend of the context that you are so present. And then so for that you need to have good interpretation about what, so it's the reality that you are surrounded, and so based on that you have all process of thinking, bracing, and you kind of creating hypotheses of action that some of them gonna so be selected other than so other type of choices based in what you think is most appropriate to do. And it's like the essence, the abstract of what is decision making. That's why I believe decision making is the most important skill that you should develop in your life. But then so to develop what seems to be something required for you, you seem to have so to get truthful information about reality, and you want to kind of get the understanding of, based on what you got from this data of the reality, what seems so be more appropriate to follow on as actions basing so of what so you get from the reality. And mental models both, they work in both two ways. Mental models are patterns that we kind of recognize from the reality and seem so to be something truth. So that's what, and we can declare them as pieces of information that you can use to base your arguments. But as well, some of them, they are kind of systems to solve problems, like his bulletproof problem solving. But then so today we're going to talk about a specific pattern that we have seen in business world that have made some of the business be successful, and how this mental model is called fail fast. The importance of fail fast in accelerating the process of a business, in particularly in the innovation and the validation as well. So, but then we should start by in our attempt to understand this mental model by understanding so the scenario that we're present. So we're living in a fast-paced world of business. Everyone accepts this, and success isn't about avoiding failure. It's a thing that we're gonna comprove as something that's true. And so if you can prove that something is true by studying the majority of the business that so have become successful, we understand that in a fast-paced world of business, and understanding that failure doesn't require that you're not gonna have success, it's about, it tends to so put us in a position that it's more about learning about the failures that we got. It's what most kind of contributes for our evolving over the time, rather than just avoiding so to not have failure. And then so if we fail fast, easier is so to learn something, easier is so to validate and understand if we should so stick in our plan or pivot to other one that probably can be better if we adopt. So in this video I will explore a bit on how adapting a fail fast mindset, obviously so comproving why this is useful by using real world scenarios, and then so how to make you adopt this to take the benefits of having this fail fast type of scenario in your business world. So definition: fail fast is the principle of conducting rapid small scale experiments to validate ideas. Instead of waiting for a big expensive failure, you discover flaws early when changes are easier and less costly. So you make a trade-off. You prefer to not think too much, overthinking and creating a whole of a plan, and that you put all your bets expecting so to be successful. No, you kind of have a prototype that you develop and you already put to test. It's like the culture of MVP, the minimum viable product, that we see a lot today, mainly in tech industry. So embrace quick iterations, launch a minimal viable product, gather feedback, and adjust rapidly, turning so these failures that you asset that you're gonna have, because you have produced a minimum product that's kind of really far away from a hand type of product. But then so the process of maturing and growth of your product will be much more adapted and used by so real data that you got from the interactions that the consumer have with your product, other than just like your process of overthinking and long planning without real feedback. And reality is that something that's it seems to be reliable to think. It's something that's logical. So if you're producing something that you to make profit you rely others to buy, why not? So if it's something that depends of action of other one, already test so a potential scenario of how they will so behave, even if it's in a small scale. But even if you have just like a small type of consumer that makes and experiments, they're already much better in terms of feedback of quality than your just like your assumptions that you think that it will be. If you get real data, you can so make it and generalize much better than just your overthinking process. So it's this the main type of basis for why we should more adopt this mentality of fail fast. But then so real world examples of why I will develop for you in order to convince you in how this is really a good way so to test your business ideas. So we have startup success stories, is where you see more this mentality of fail fast happen more. Companies like Dropbox you can investigate, and Slack as well started with simple prototypes, test their ideas with early users, and iterated based on feedback. So study Dropbox and Slack as examples, one of the best examples of using this methodology. We have lean startup approach as well, and this is based in a book called Lean Startup. People that so have in that scenario, that environment, even more than me that I'm doing this video, have shown that, and they are so providing as a methodology for people that want to know about so how to structure their business model. Lean startup approach is something that takes from a lot of this methodology of fail first and fail quick. Many startups use fail fast methodology to avoid large scale failures by testing assumptions with a MVP before fully scaling up. Because the most of the cost comes with trying to scale. But if you to scale, you have to test with the minority that you got. That's important. You need to validate first. It's what so we argue a lot. Case in point, it's like imagine launching a new app feature. Instead of waiting for a few scale rollout, release a beta version. We see a lot of this today. A beta version of something to get some feedback from people, and then just after we release so a app that everyone has access to. So with this beta version, you collect user feedback and refine the feature, minimizing risk and maximizing so user satisfaction. So another case, everyone that used this beta version, they're so relying in this methodology of prototypes. So it's thing that you should look for. Now that we've looked from real world examples, the majority of startups they adopt this methodology. I've given the example of two main ones, but you can study more to convince even more. So that's something that's true. Majority of the startups they adopt this methodology, but then reinforcing even more why failing fast is crucial for business. So understanding why instead of just what are the ones that adopt it, but understand why failing fast is crucial. I already have given some examples, but another ones that I can be underlying. Resource efficiency, by identifying and discarding flawed ideas early, you save time, money, and effort that can be redirected for more promising experiments. So, other things, culture of innovation. A fail-fast mindset, they fosters an environment where experimentation is encouraged, and failure is seen as a stepping stone rather than a setback. Agility and adaptability as well. Business that fail fast can quickly pivot to meet market needs, making them more responsive and competitive in changing environments. So, implement. Encourage experimentation, set clear and short-term goals, utilize these MVPs and prototypes / minimal versions of products to test hypotheses before committing to full development. gather and analyze this feedback, use data, surveys, and user testing to learn from each interaction, making it easier so to people get this data, because not always is easy, not always people have like the time, to give the feedback, so encourage them to do it, and based on feedback that you got, pivot or persevere based on the feedback that you get. So I expect this video has make you gain insights about so how this methodology, and it's a pattern that we've seen that has make so startups be have like a health type of scale and so become successful. And without more to say, just thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you have like, put a like as well, and if other videos may trigger your interest, don't forget so to as well gain more insights by seeing it. So with that much more to say, thank you and see you in the next one.